So we're live. Welcome, Rachel Arnold, to episode 6 of this InfoSec to Insanity podcast. Do my eyes look insane when I do this?
I don't know. Do mine look insane when I do that?
No. I don't know. On my video, you're a little blurry, but it could be me. But this is my insane look right now.
That's your insane look? What was that picture? I got a picture of you not too long ago where you look like the most forced version of angry I've ever seen in my life.
Was that one of those pictures that Ryan took?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He always catches me at my best.
It was amazing. I have to say it was fantastic. I'm drinking. I wanted to let you know I have a Mexican Coke just for you.
Really?
I got a Mexican Coke. Look at that.
Oh yeah, look at that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to come visit me? You were talking about it. You and was it John was mentioned? Josh and then
John.
Wasn't it John too?
Yeah, the whole crew. Yeah, they're talking about it this coming spring. So it's still floating out there somewhere. We're gonna come see.
Would have a good time. So if you're scared of good times, then don't come.
The good thing I'm not ever scared of a good time.
Sure, me neither. So yeah, that's cool. I talked to Ryan today.
You did? What's he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. He was in Atlanta.
That sounds right. That's squirrely. Never in one place too long. Yep.
No, and I think he was reaching out for some sanity, because he gets kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So he's like, "What should I do?" And I'm like, "Just get out. Get out."
Get out.
I'm at that stage in my career right now where I'm finding it harder and harder to get motivated to do stuff. I'm kind of tired of the bullshit. I've been doing this for a long time. I've got a lot of stories to share. I don't like to share my stories because I don't do that. But yeah, I think I'm ready for like this last chapter of life where I just focus on my wife and enjoy hobbies, maybe.
Yeah. What's your new hobbies? What are the things you've been up to?
Well, I got ADHD.
So do I.
Yeah. So I play a lot of piano. I play guitar. I play bass.
Yeah.
Guitar. I've been doing that.
Did you know that I played violin?
Violin?
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna have to bring it. I play fiddle. When I moved to Louisiana, I learned to take my violin and improv and play fiddle. Yeah.
Well, and you're a hell of a singer too. I was thinking about this podcast maybe doing some karaoke, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
We have karaoke here. We do a lot of karaoke. Yeah.
I like the karaoke's.
I bought my first ever VR headset.
How do you like
Saturday?
it? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I wasn't playing with this earlier.
Which one
awesome.
did you get?
I got the MetaQuest 3.
Yeah. Very nice. We have an Oculus. We bought it about a year and a half ago. I can't lie. My favorite thing is Beat Saber.
Oh yeah, shit.
Like I haven't branched very far out from Beat Saber, but that's about it.
My daughter is like addicted to Beat Saber. So I'm upstairs, we have, 4 levels, and there's the top floor, which is I took over the whole floor. I'm like a virus. My wife gets pissed off because she can't find her own space, but that's because you got to stake it out before I get there, So she didn't stake out the top floor.
How would one stake out a floor? Like, how would she would there be signage involved, or like?
I don't know. Somehow I got it. I just threw my shit in here and started like doing stuff. And so, but I took over this place. I took over, this whole floor, right? Our bedroom's over there. The pool table that I built.
Yeah.
The steel, that's like right there. And then my piano's over there. I got 2 guitars over there. My bass guitar's over there. I just threw my shit in here. And she's like, "Where's my space?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you want?" So the VR place where we play VR all the time is right over there too. So my daughter might come up here and play VR while I'm on this podcast. If she does, I'll get her over here and we can make fun of her.
Fantastic. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm pretty sure I am the coolest cat on the block, but I know from the outside looking in, I've got to be the most arm flailing, inflatable dork ever.
I love that game. Yeah, I have no idea what I look like, but I did record my daughter when she was playing Beat Saber.
Yeah.
She won't let me share it though.
That's probably a good idea. I don't blame her.
Yep.
I definitely wouldn't blame her, at least.
So what have you been up to, Miss Arnold?
Miss Arnold. Wow, that's so formal.
I'm a pretty formal guy.
Well, I've been helping out a lot of people with security awareness program strategy.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, which I love. I love it so much. Like, and it's because it's so easily, it's not just in the stratosphere of what we do in the industry, specific to the industry. Like, it's stuff I can talk to people outside of the industry, like my dad and my mom and stepdad and brother. And actually, I have more than one brother, but brothers and sisters and people I run into on the street. They're like, if I stand in line with somebody for longer than 5 minutes while we're checking out groceries or whatever, like, they eventually get around to, oh, so what do you do? I'm like, oh, I work in cybersecurity. And they're like, wow, right? That's amazing. What's your day like? What's your day? And I'm like, how about we talk about just what you shouldn't click as a person? Like, I love that. And
that's cool.
It carries over a lot. And I think a really good, healthy security awareness program does more than just protect, company, organization. It helps those people take those strategies and skills back with them to share with their family and friends to help protect them as well. So it's nice. I always like working on security awareness projects. But
you have such a good personality. You resonate with people. So one of the things that I think people, when they talk about information security, they seem to be intimidated by us, because we use a bunch of big words and we're so damn smart and everything. And so I've had so many CEOs tell me over the years, no, fuck no, we're not smart. If we were smart, we would have produced much better results than what we're getting right now.
Hey.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's part of the reason why I'm near burnout. I'm tired of, I read. I've been pretty quiet. I've been trying to kind of stay down low, and I read some of the advice that people are giving. People with 20, 30 years of information security experience, and you're like, what the fuck are you saying? No, don't. What the hell? And I see so much of that I'm like, I could spend more time than I have, more than 24 hours a day, just rebutting stupid advice I'm seeing in the industry.
Can you be specific? What sort of stupid advice do you see? I must be running in the non-toxic circles. Because, man, you look frustrated.
I'll give you one.
Okay, I want one.
I am frustrated. So, the one this morning, because I get up in the morning and I don't have a routine because, I'm a ADHD guy.
Yeah.
And it was some dude that was preaching, and it was that HelpNet. You ever read HelpNet? HelpNet Security? That news source? Okay. I don't like HelpNet Security as a news source. They're pretty well known, but it's always sponsored bullshit. You know what I mean? All the articles are written by somebody who must have paid to get on there. But the thing I read today was what we really need is phishing-resistant next-generation MFA to protect ourselves.
Wait. Okay, wait. Let's break it down.
Yeah. I'll say it again. This is a quote unquote.
Okay.
Phishing resistant next generation MFA.
Phishing resistant.
Yeah.
Next generation MFA. Yeah. So
next gen.
So what?
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
So I read the article and I'm like, I'm intrigued in this thing you're talking about. And it's how, OTP, one-time passwords. That's another thing. I created some of my spare time. I play around with just shit. So I created some cartoons. One of my cartoon characters that I created is acronym asshat. Yeah. I actually made a game out of it.
I know some of those in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe I do run in the same toxic circles. I just wasn't aware.
So I try really hard to not be acronym asshat so that when I said OTP, people are like, yeah, that. OTP, one-time password is what I'm saying. So his article was like one-time password and SMS. So SMS is short messaging system, texting, whatever. Those types of MFA are essentially not effective, and you need next-gen MFA. I'm like, all right, but you got to start somewhere, and you got to meet people where they're at, and you got to move them in the right direction. I would certainly rather have a one-time password or an SMS-based second factor than
nothing.
Yeah.
Or nothing. Yeah, than nothing. It was better than nothing.
Right.
I don't know.
And to your point though, and the one thing I really appreciate by people like you in this industry is you resonate with people. You have a positive attitude. You speak English, like normal English. Not that speaking English. I mean, I live in Mexico, right?
It's like, this is a weird road we've taken, Evan.
I know. And we're going to get to stigma. We're going to get to stigma here in a minute, because it's a funny thing. Living down here, I'm old now, and I'm really starting to realize how important other perspectives are in my life. The best decisions I've made a lot of shitty decisions over the years. And I was telling a guy, see him squirreling. I was telling a dude yesterday, there was 2 guys trying to sell me drugs yesterday down in Zona Romantica. Yeah, I know. It's like, thanks. They start with usually it's marijuana, sell me pot. And then it's like Molly, cocaine. And the list goes on. I'm like, bro, no. And he's like, why not? And I go, because I've been in jail 11 times. So I don't want to go back to fucking jail again. And he's like, you've been to jail 11 times? I'm like, yeah. So those are those shitty decisions. But I don't want to make shitty decisions as much anymore. One of the things that's really helped is getting other people's perspectives. Other people's perspectives provides context. The best decisions I ever make are the ones in context. That's logic. That's logic right there. Did I blow your mind?
No, it's just, okay. I read this thing once, right, going down an ADHD squirrel hole on marine biology about how squid and octopuses? No, octopi.
You know what I like to say? It's octopussies.
Are
just what I say.
Are like second to us, the most intelligent being. And whenever they
really,
if you believe in evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why that human beings, Homo sapiens as a species, rose above was our ability to build community. Octopi and squid and cuttlefish, they have no ability to connect or share ideas amongst themselves, right? And that was the only reason why our branch kept branching, kept going. And I was really young when I read that, so I'm very terribly paraphrasing, but it's always
for me.
Well, it always kind of stuck with me because I was like, none of us should singularly exist and expect to achieve anything. Not even we only are strong whenever we work together and collaborate and share ideas and move forward together. That's when we change the world and change the trajectory of our future. That's it.
You just spewed a whole bunch of wisdom all over my shirt.
I did. I went, bleh.
I have to wash this shirt now because it's full of wisdom.
Don't wash it out. Frame it.
I actually have a housekeeper.
I have one too. Mine only comes every 2 weeks though. Yours is probably more frequent.
I'm so spoiled. You
really are.
At this stage of my life, and people tell me oh, you deserve it. I'm like, I don't deserve shit. And they're like, well, you work so hard. I'm like, lots of people work hard and they don't get blessed like this. You know what I mean? In the minute you start taking that shit for granted.
Don't listen to those people. Don't change. Hold on to your humility. Don't fucking change. I want you to wake up every day and go, damn, I am fucking lucky.
No. Well, all right. So the humility thing, usually it's, I wake up every day and it's, damn, you're fucked up.
That's negative self-talk. Look, every morning, me and the kids do affirmations down at the end of the driveway before they get on the little school bus and go become mommy's retirement plan. Okay? I tell them every day, do good in school, your mommy's retirement plan.
We have some chatters, by the way. Are you watching the live stream?
No, do we?
Yeah, Will McCullen has joined us. Will is saying, he says, your perspective all starts with the fact that she genuinely cares.
Who genuinely cares? Do I?
You.
Yeah, I do that. I do. You know what, though?
Well, here's what makes us a good mix. You care. I don't.
It is a good mix.
Actually, I do. I do care. I'm kidding.
I was going to say, I feel like...
Just different.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Meh. You're funny.
I do care. I care
So
an awful lot.
You've been working on training and awareness programs.
I have a couple of places. A really large transportation company, which is really fun and cool because I haven't done one of those
Swift?
yet. No, and I can't tell you.
I know people at Swift. They're good people. They're a big company.
Yeah, it's a different one, not that one.
Okay.
And I've been doing some like pro bono consulting for higher education here in the state of Louisiana with Louisiana University, the Baton Rouge campus. Been helping out their security awareness team lead. She's amazing, and been kind of mentoring my communications manager, Meg Jett, alongside me. She's doing amazing work. She popped up the other day. We were on the line with an executive who was nervous about giving a presentation to higher ups. And Meg is a trained, like, professional entertainer. Like, she's a ballet dancer. Like, she goes and teaches ballet. And she also is...
Can she stand on her toes?
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
I know. And she's only like 5'2", and she could kick you in the head. Like, and I'm 6 feet tall. Like, she's scary. But she also, her and her husband are just into the arts. Like, they're just into the arts, man. Like, they do community theater. They do all this stuff. She's run her own dance company before. Like, anyhow, she pops up and she was like, look, I could coach you. I'm an actor. I've coached other actors before. I would be happy to coach you. She took a whole hour earlier this week that I was like, you should definitely do that, and coached this person through their presentation, and they're going to do it again like next week. Like, I'm excited. Do you know how excited I get? I haven't told her yet, so she's listening to this. It just now dawned on her. She has her first mentee kind of thing. Like, she's kind of like, we're best friends outside of this. And I've been mentoring her through, the industry and doing some things on the side. And as kind of a means to her end, which is her passion is dancing. It is absolutely her passion. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money to be made in the arts because people don't value it as much as they should.
Right.
So this is like her working with me as like a part-time thing that she does to kind of, help move that dream along. And I've been mentoring her. And then she picked up like this executive level mentee the other day on a call that we had. Like, I was so proud. I cried a little. I was like, this is amazing. And I've got me another mentee. She's a student at the local community college in Baton Rouge, ITI. And my friend Quinn, who comes to the coffee table talks all the time and is, actually a family friend. Like, he's been in our lives now for a decade or so. He sent me this person. He said she's having a really hard time connecting with other people and talking to them. And I've been telling her how important networking is as you go through your career. Would you mind just chatting with her or talking with her? And I've kind of taken her under her wing and already took her to like a local security meetup here in Baton Rouge. And she did great. That's great. Cool. She met a bunch of the students from the student-run SOC at Louisiana State University came as well. So she met a lot of people.
I'm going to have to call acronym ASSET on that. What is SOC?
Oh, sorry. Security Operations Center.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So a program similar to the one that Will actually does at Pima Community College, they have in Tucson, Arizona, they have a student-run security operations center, student-run SOC, where their students get hands-on experience as they're learning, all the crap you read that's outdated by the time you graduate. So at LSU, they have a similar program, and 6 out of their 24 student employees came to our meetup too. So that's my cool. My new little mentee already made her got a little friend circle going.
That's awesome.
And, yeah.
So it's Tucson. It's not Tucson.
No.
Looks like Tucson to me.
It looks like a lot of sand. There's a lot of sand. A lot.
That's super cool. The thing, I was talking to a guy today who, he wants to be on the podcast, this podcast. It's crazy because people think they know you. It's, this is a good segue into, stigma and all that. It isn't just information security. Obviously, there's certain things in this industry that are more fucked up than probably other places, but in general, we're so quick to judge people.
Yeah.
I get judged, and it's not like...
You know why we do that? That we're programmed to do that. It's a safety thing. We read the signs in other people that it's like a fight or flight. And it's I'm not saying that means it's good.
No,
I'm saying that means that some people mistake it for
I sort of agree. I sort of agree with you.
Yeah.
If you lack discernment and critical thinking ability, then you don't notice that, because one of the biggest things in information security, if there's one tip I could give everybody, it's nothing to do with technology. It all has to do with situational awareness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but how do you do that in a digital space? Like that's why they need coaching and help.
They do need coaching and help. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because people don't pay attention. People are so busy, so fast. Click this, click that, open this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I got an email. I got a fucking meeting. Oh my God, I got a message from Teams and I can't forget to miss this. God knows what. Shit, I got to get that new iPhone 16. Why? We don't normally stop to ask why. And the same thing goes when we judge people so fast. We all have, you're absolutely right. We are pre-programmed. We all have this first impression, and you recognize it as a first impression, right? It's not set in stone. I'm not going to make decisions on this first impression. I'm going to validate it or invalidate it. I'm going to use some discernment. I'm going to use some critical thinking ability. And you ask questions. The only way you're going to figure that out is to inquire, right? And so I had a discussion today with he's a friend now. I didn't know the guy. He gets on the phone with me and he's like, "It's so good to talk to you. You know, I've been trying to get to talk to you for so long." I'm like, "Well, what was keeping you from talking to me?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Well, you're so busy." I'm like, "The fuck? You don't know how busy I am. You have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I mean, shit, I just took a fucking nap. I got time. I got time for good shit."
Yeah.
And we were talking like, "So what do you do?" And he's telling me, and he's doing all this travel. I'm like, "Man, that's fucking fascinating." And I asked him to tell me more and more. And then you realize, like, I think you're pretty fucking cool, man. I mean, this, I don't know how to fix it. I think you just have to be more aware of your surroundings, be more aware of what it is you're actually doing. Be aware of because I have a saying too, and this, we'll get to this, in this stigma thing. I'm a firm believer that everybody's perspective is valid. Everybody's.
Yes. I mean,
I don't care if especially in the political bullshit that we do, like far left, your perspective is valid. The conclusions you drew from your perspective, that's where you're fucked up. You judge too quick. You didn't get other perspectives. You're making really shitty choices, brother. Yeah. Do you feel that?
I do feel that a lot. Before I came into this industry, I was a waitress at Waffle House.
No shit. Right before, what was that? What was that like?
Right. So
seriously, what was that like?
So here's this thing that happened. So whenever I was a kid, my mom left my dad when I was pretty young, and I became really incredibly introverted as a product of my childhood. Can you imagine? I was very quiet, Evan, and I kept to myself a lot. Yeah. And I knew that was going to be a problem at some point in my life, because there's this thing that happens when you're real quiet and you stay to yourself. You're very introspective, and when you're a selfish teenager, you're double introspective.
Yeah.
You think about yourself a lot. And I knew that my inability to connect to other people was going to be a serious issue. And I wanted to become a waitress to train myself how to be better at connecting at people. I knew that if my money depended on my ability to connect with other human beings, that I would be more inspired to stick to it, like to really work it out. And the caliber of people that I met at Waffle House, right? I know everybody's like, yeah, I'll bet, right? I met some of the most surprising individuals that I will never forget in my life. I met the squirreliest, this person would have looked crazy to anybody else. He had...
Was Ryan was there?
No, it might have been an older version of Ryan, except for this guy could pass standardized tests. So, really well.
Shit.
He went
Ryan couldn't, right?
Well, ADHD squirrel.
I get you.
So this guy was a Louisiana stamp of approval lawyer, a very good one, by the way. and also had a medical degree.
Wow.
Just because he was like bored or some shit. His name was JJ. And I don't know what his last name was, but he was probably in his 50s when I met him. And right, you're thinking, oh, young girl, right, working at a Waffle House.
Should we do a live OSINT exercise and find out what his last name was? No?
It was, hang on, JJ stood for Jonathan James. What was his last name? He was a lawyer, though, in Baton Rouge. His first name was Jonathan, middle name James. Anyway, while you're OSINTing, this guy was wild, all right? Just wild, crazy smart, and just...
JJ Lee?
Might be. I don't know. He's a little wiry-looking white dude.
Maybe. Do you want his social?
Oh, no, this one's passed. He's passed away by now.
That doesn't matter. Do you want his social?
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. That was totally posturing, and that was all bullshit.
I probably have it somewhere, Evan, honestly.
But the thing is, so Will made a good point, which I think, and this is a problem in our industry. We posture a lot. It's very intimidating for new people, I think, getting into this industry, or for people that struggle with self-esteem, or with people that struggle with imposter syndrome. Because, and truly, most of us are full of shit. Most of the posturing, I was sitting here, I had a whole bunch, there's been a lot of security people that have visited since, I lived here. And there was a group of security people, and they were all posturing, and I was sitting there, I was on my phone. I don't really have any interest in it, I figured the more you think I know what I'm doing, the more you're going to invite me to meetings, and I don't want to go to your fucking meetings, so I don't want you to think I'm that fucking good.
I like your strategy. I like it, so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're because I also realize that I'm at this stage in my career where I can be like that. I can be this way. And I remember when I first started in this industry, I couldn't be this way. I didn't have any credibility. I had to care what other people thought about me.
Yeah.
If I wanted a job, if I wanted to make money. But I was sitting there listening to these guys pop, and you listen to it for a while, and then I finally poke my head up and I go, bullshit. And they're like, what do you mean bullshit? And I'm like, what you just said is bullshit. Because he was saying something like he'd successfully hacked some shit. I don't remember what it was. TLS, maybe, something. And I said, that's bullshit. And he's like, well, no, it's not. And I'm like, how'd you do it then? Well, but it did. I'm like, that doesn't fucking work, man. I mean, it's all bullshit. What you're saying is bullshit. But I get it. I want to, because I don't want to tear you down. I get it. We all get caught up in it sometimes. When everybody's preaching their posturing, you don't want to be the one that's left out, right? Oh yeah, well I did that thing too.
Oh no, I'm left out of every one of those conversations. I purposefully leave myself out of those conversations, and I feel like I might be at the point in my career where I'm supposed to posture, but I don't.
Well, I always, for when the people I mentor, I have mentees. I don't know why, really. I think they're just lonely, maybe. They just want to talk to me. But I say three things my mind works. I'm a bucket guy. I put things in buckets all the time. And there's three buckets that I'm always keeping track of when I'm talking to somebody: trust, credibility, and likability. Those are my three buckets. And I try to keep them as full as I can if I care. If I don't care, I don't care. So on the trust one, that one's pretty easy. If you're an honest person, you don't lie to people. There's two types of lies. There's lies of omission, when I don't tell you something I should have told you. And there's lies of commission, when I just told you something that ain't true, right? So that's that bucket. The next bucket is the credibility bucket. Do I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about, or am I full of shit, right? And they play off each other, because if I erode that one, then the trust one's going to take a hit too. And then there's the likability bucket. Just don't be an asshole. But on that credibility bucket, I have to tell you enough about what I've done or who I am, so you think I'm not just some guy, I guess. But then if you can read the room and you realize that, okay, I've established credibility, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're done. You're good.
Anything beyond that, it's just serving my own damn ego. And if I keep going too much, I'm going to eat away at the likability bucket.
Do you ever find
Does that make sense?
Do you ever find yourself sizing up your own credibility, and then that imposter syndrome creeps in? I have to do this thing every once in a while where I have to remind myself the things that I have accomplished, because to get in my own head about I'm not worthy.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but Will made a great point. I'm reading the chat, and Will made a great point. Leave your ego at the door. We have a saying, and actually...
Where's it at? You can find it. I believe in you.
I have a sticker.
Wait, your ego is not your amigo. Super bueno.
Yeah.
I like it. Your ego is not your amigo.
And I totally interrupted you. I'm sorry, Rachel.
No, I love your sticker. Saying? It was worth the interruption. We're just.
If you come down here, I'll give you one.
I know. We're working on it, man. Look, that's a lot of moving pieces, right? Like,
there's another sticker.
What's that one say? GSD? Why is it upside down?
Oh, sorry.
GSD. That's all I can see is GSD.
Yeah, get shit done.
Get shit done. I like it. I would put that on way too many things at my house. That would be terrible.
Will, you need to send me an address. I'll send you some stickers.
Yeah. Oh, I've got Will's address somewhere if he doesn't send it to you.
Yeah. So what the hell are we talking about? So let me ask you this. I love different, honestly, the older I get, the more, I think it's wisdom maybe, but I really appreciate other people's perspectives more than I ever have. I beg for it. I think sometimes people don't share it because they're afraid to share it.
I think
people are afraid to tell you what they really think because of any repercussions that may come with that.
Evan, I will always tell you exactly what I actually think in that moment because I can't stop myself from doing it.
That's why you're perfect for this podcast. And I don't know if you ever view yourself as being inspirational because I'll tell you my perspective. Imposter syndrome is bullshit. Yeah. I think the only time you really have imposter syndrome is when you're comparing yourself with somebody else. You have an external comparison. Yep. The only thing you're ever going to be good at, Rachel, ever, you'll never be the best anything. You won't be the best mom. You won't be the best security person. You won't be the best employee. You won't be the best anything except for the best you. That's it.
Yep. And that's all I can do, man. It took me a long time to realize that, but I think I realized it earlier than most. And I'm grateful for that.
Amen.
Part.
Amen, sister.
I came across
I learned that when I went through marriage counseling. My wife, this is I don't know how many years ago. I lose track of years. I don't even know what year it is now. But it was 5 years into our marriage, and she was unhappy. She was super unhappy. I thought I was a great husband. I came home every day. I was paying the bills, not cheating on her, not surfing porn. I mean, I'm a good dude, but still fucking up, I guess. So we went to marriage counseling, and the first marriage counseling session I went to, I was like, fuck, I'm learning all kinds of shit just in this one time talking about what I'm doing wrong. And so I said two things to her after that first session. I said, number one, I never loved you, which blew her fucking mind. Let me qualify before you rush to judgment on that. I'm saying the kind of love that I'm supposed to love, like the selfless love, the love where I put you ahead of me, the love where I don't keep any record of wrongs, the love where, that kind of love.
Yeah.
And the second thing is I said, I'm not going to work on our marriage. I'm not. I don't give a fuck about our marriage. Honestly, what I'm going to work on is me. I need to be a much better version of me. And if you're still here, praise God. If you're not, I get it. But I'm going to be the best me I can be. And you need to take that same, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear your perspective on this, you need to take that same approach to your job. And then you won't have imposter syndrome because I am the best me I can be. There's never going to be a better me.
Yep. I went in with it, and that my perspective on myself was challenged by some toxic individuals that I encountered while I was there, and I had to remind myself very frequently. And I got real low. Will knows that. I talked to Will. I would call Will, talk to him, or he'd call me. He'd call me and check on me. He's like, "You've been quiet for a long time." I'm like, "That's because I'm real sad." I know.
Not cool, girl.
I know when I get real sad, I get very quiet and just kind of shrink back and go back into that introverted little girl that's very introspective. And I sit with my own thoughts and start pulling myself apart over it. But you have to work on you. You have to work on you first. You cannot pour from an empty cup, whether it's your marriage, your work, you cannot pour anything from nothing.
You can't pour from an empty cup. That is.
Have you never heard that? That's got to be on some live, laugh, love sign somewhere.
No, I'm fucking Mexican now. We don't get your info down here.
No, you can't.
So say that again.
My mother-in-law told me that. My mother-in-law was the first one to tell me that. You cannot
say that again.
You cannot pour from an empty cup. You're the cup in this metaphor, in case anybody was confused.
Take that to the bank. So any listener who's listening live or listening to the recorded podcast, you could stop it right there and just take that shit to the bank.
You have to work on you first. If your vessel, your cup is full of holes and draining, or is just empty and dry, you're not going to help anybody. You have to help you first.
I like that. I will sleep better tonight knowing this thing that you just said to me.
Okay. I'm glad.
No, truly. Well, so the driver for this podcast, actually, the title, it's fuck the stigma, right? Be authentic. I think in general, I've never really struggled not being authentic. And I learned this I grew up an only child, lonely, very, very lonely as a child. My dad was 20 years in the Marine Corps. My mom was 6. I grew up on a Marine Corps base, many Marine Corps bases, actually. And every time you move to a new base, I had to make new friends. And I never seemed to be able to break that barrier. And so I was very frustrated. It seemed like the harder I tried to make friends, the harder it was to make friends. I didn't make friends. And so after a while, and it was probably the age of like 13, I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to make any friends. I don't care if I make any friends. I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be authentic. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I don't give a shit. And so that's when I started making friends.
Yeah. Because it's all you have to do
be authentic.
Just be confident in yourself. That's it. People will feel that energy and they'll tap into it and start to gravitate towards you.
Yeah. And people give me shit about that. Like my buddy, Kevin, he's my work wife, Kevin. I love Kevin. I love him. I want to stab him sometimes. It's like a mini marriage, Some days I'm like, some days I'm not really sexually attracted to him.
Okay.
But it's 2024. If I was, who are you to judge?
Right.
I can do what the fuck I want.
You really can, as long as
you're
not. Just don't hurt the people around you. It's kind of the rule I like to stick with. Don't be an asshole. That goes back to the don't be an asshole.
Oh, don't be an asshole. I like it.
Don't be an asshole.
So Kevin tries to make friends, I think, and Kevin he mentioned me more than once. He's like, "Why do you have so many friends when you don't even want them?" I go, "It's because I don't fucking want them. Honestly, I don't really want friends. I'm okay. I grew up an only child. I'm fine being by myself. I don't need anybody else around me to I find shit to do. Most of it is legal.
That's good.
Well, nowadays, it used to be a lot less legal. That's why 11 times in jail, I think, maybe. But my wife, oh my God, thank God for her. Actually, I'm going to have her in episode 8. I'm going to have my own wife, and her and I are going to sit here and talk, and I'm a little scared.
You should be. But don't be at the same time. Why are you scared? What are you afraid of?
There's only a few people in this world that I'm scared of, and that's one of them.
Is it like a healthy fear, or is it like a not healthy fear?
I'm not sure.
You look healthy, so.
Thank you.
So maybe it's okay.
I wrote this thing called The Circles. It's the way I always view my relationships.
Yeah. I remember you talking about this a while back, actually.
I live by this because it really helps me. The more I remind myself, you have Jesus, the inner circle, the next circle is my wife, the next circle is my family, the next circle is close friends, the next circle is acquaintances, and then there's sort of everybody else. And the more I remind myself of that, almost everybody on the planet isn't in any of those circles, so why do I give 2 fucks what they think about me? Now, my wife, she's in that second circle.
Yeah.
Which means she has a hell of a lot of power. If she decided to go rogue someday, she could destroy me. Honestly, I put so much trust, in that lady. Nah, she's never going to. She's like a saint, but that's why I'm afraid of her. There's not many people that could destroy me.
Evan, as you're talking, I don't think you're afraid of her. I think you're afraid of not being in trust with her or in confidence or losing her. It doesn't sound like you're actually afraid of her. I think you're afraid of your relationship.
I'm not really afraid of losing her either. We've already talked about this. I told her, I'm definitely going to outlive you. We've had this discussion. And the reason why I'm going to outlive her is because I'm too stupid to die. I've done so many fucking things that I should be dead. I don't know why I'm still here. I do know why. There's obviously still a purpose or something. She's kind of frail-ish. I tell her to eat more, get some meat on your bones, girl. It's going to So I'm going to outlive her, but I already told her what my plan is. When I outlive her, I have no interest in finding another woman. I'm going to fill my house with dogs.
Get though. I mean, I'm sad that your wife would be gone. She sounds lovely. I hope to meet her one day.
You get your ass down here and you will.
If she puts up with your shit, she's definitely lovely. I'm going to like her.
Watch episode 8 because you'll get to see her. Yeah. She's got a very, very interesting perspective. Well, her number one strength, if you've ever done Strength Finders, her number one strength is responsibility. Now, I don't know how many strengths there are, maybe 30, 32, I don't even know. It ain't on my list anywhere.
Oh, well, that's good, though. She completes you. Oh,
I know. Well, it's funny because it's when I met her that I stopped going to jail.
Hey, that is also a positive impact.
Yeah, because she's got a way of saying things. She likes to tell me how to drive.
Okay. Is that like, because are you scary driving? Or
no,
is she just being critical of your driving?
Well, here was an education point that came up like a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
My youngest daughter lives here with us too, and my youngest daughter was there. And for some reason, my wife was, I don't know, she has a tendency to want to 3 things. Again, 3, everything's buckets of 3. If you're an ADHD person, you understand this.
Yeah.
Everything goes in 3s. 3s. Yeah. If you think it's a weird that you think in 3s, it's actually science. If you have ADHD, you think in 3s.
Cool.
So the 3 things that I told her, and my daughter was there too, and I said, here's some advice. If you really want to make your husband feel super happy, or your mate, boyfriend, whatever, like super happy, super confident, and just good about themselves. 1, always tell them what to do. 2, always tell them what they think. And 3, make sure you tell them how they feel. They love it.
Yeah.
That's the recipe to marital success for your husband. And my wife looked at me and she goes, "Are you talking about me?" I'm like, "I didn't realize you were here." Yes, I am.
Evan, I'm not going to do any of those things. I've had so far 14 glorious years of marriage to Josh. They're working out pretty well. I've enjoyed every one of them.
You see this?
I'm not doing any of that. What is that? What does that say? Is that a wedding date?
That's my anniversary.
Yeah, it's a wedding date. Anniversary?
Yeah, because I kept...
Is that what the kids are saying nowadays, anniversary? I don't know why I said wedding date, but...
I kept forgetting when our anniversary was.
Wow.
So I tattooed it on my arm.
So I do this thing because of the ADHD again, that like I set alarms and calendars. And you remember a little while ago whenever you said something about, routine, not good at routine because of the ADHD situation? I force myself into a routine because my life demands it at this moment.
Okay.
But I do create blocks of space in my week, sometimes in my day, where I get to be floaty and just do whatever I'm inspired to do in that moment.
Right on.
Right. So there's but it's still structured. It's structured, no structure, which I need very badly just to, I don't know, not feel
You got
sad.
closer to your microphone right now.
Did I?
You do. You sound very
excellent. That's what I was going for.
Nailed it, sister.
No, it's I actually right before we started this live, I had to turn off 3 separate alarms I have, and yes, one of them is to remind me to shower. So if you don't like that shit, too bad. There you go. I have to live my life that way, right? All that introspection. I know where my gaps are. I know where my vulnerabilities are as a person. So before I go tell anybody else what their vulnerabilities are, I better make sure I know my own.
Well, but how interesting is that, and how counterculture is it? Because what you just said is that's who I am. I'm authentic. This is me. And fuck the stigma. I don't give a shit what you think. Based on whatever you're thinking, this is how it is. It's healthy, and this is how I'm going to live. And that's super, super healthy. But it also sets I think, as you're mentee or mentoring, other people, the more you can inject that into them, the more, I think, the longevity they're going to have in this career, the better they're going to feel about themselves. So I love it. And that's, again, the perfect reason why you're here. Because the stigma, believe it or not, it kills. It kills people.
Yeah.
I've lost 4 friends to suicide in this industry. 4 people that I love, 4 people that I miss, and 4 people that I committed that I won't let their death be in vain. Because whenever, I don't know if any of the listeners have had somebody, a close friend that's committed suicide before, I do the same thing every time. I question myself, what could I have done? What signs did I miss? Did I, it's natural to do that. That's, I think part of processing. And the one thing that I learned is I will not let the stigma get in the way. I will talk openly about this. I will talk openly about all kinds of shit that I don't care if it's offensive to you. I don't, it's coming from a place of love. I don't care if it's taboo. Like, oh my God, did you say that? Here's another thing that I've shared a lot over the years. I was molested as a child. I was molested by my uncle. I was molested for a number of years. That took a long time. It took a long time to process that. And the reason why I share it is I don't want any sympathy. I don't want any of that shit. I've already processed it. I'm fine. I don't need any of that. The reason why I share it is because if you have been there and you've never dealt with it, you've never talked about it, you've never processed it, I've opened up a safe place for you to do that.
Yeah.
Because here's somebody that's been there that wants to help you.
Right. Yep.
And I think the same thing with cybersecurity. In your training and awareness programs, I've read a number of articles and I've seen a number of things where elderly people who have been scammed, there's kind of this thing that nobody really talks about, really. They're committing suicide. They're killing themselves.
Yeah.
They're killing themselves because they're ashamed.
Yep.
And they feel like they've got no hope. And if you don't talk about it, how is it ever going to get addressed?
Yeah. I had a very close friend that got scammed. She had just started a brand new job. The CEO messaged her. She was in between doing 100 different errands that morning. And her CEO was a smaller company. So the CEO messaging her wasn't that outside of the realm of possibilities. Messaged her and said, hey, I need you to pick up a bunch of gift cards for me. And she was in such a rush. She just did it. Now, she did remember me talking to her about some of these things. And after they started asking for more than $500 or $600, she stopped. That's when it hit her that she was like, wait a minute. She got, but not as bad as they could have gotten her. And she called me right after and she said, this thing's happened to me. I feel so stupid. What is wrong with me? I was like, first of all, I want you to understand that you are a victim of a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not stupid. Okay. You were taken advantage of in a situation and you're not the first one. It happens all the time, every day. That's why they keep doing it. It's a numbers game. They will send out hundreds of thousands of those messages to a blanket of different phone numbers all day long until they get one or two. You just happen to be at that right moment where you were go. And I told her how proud I was of her that she did stop eventually.
Right.
That it did dawn on her. And then I told her how proud of her I was that she told me about it. I was like, I'm going to try and help you. Here's what we're going to do next. Don't worry. We're going to call, we're going to find out if we can get a return on some of these. We're going to find out what we can do. Did you give the numbers to them? And she opened up right there and actually, she got a little bit of help, but she felt so stupid and there was no reason to. You're not stupid. You're a human that just started a brand new job and you wanted to impress your CEO and you thought that was coming directly from him. They just caught you in the right moment.
Well, and in truth, you might be stupid. What the fuck do I know? I don't even know you. I mean, that's the thing. I was talking, in the last podcast, episode 5, I was talking with Sean Riley. He's the former CIO for the state of North Dakota.
Yeah, I know Sean. I know of Sean. We've spoken a few times digitally.
He came down here for the Metallica concert, so we went to Metallica together.
Nice. How was it?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I mean, this is my life, Rachel. It's crazy you even had to ask such a thing, but, you'll learn. But he made it. Again, he shared some really good perspectives in the last episode. One was Like I always thought legislators are just dipshits. I mean, just dipshits. Everyone I've talked to, it's been like, the hell? And he shared a perspective that really opened my eyes. Like, they're not dipshits, actually. You know what I mean? They've got a lot of competing priorities. They got a lot of things on their minds. Okay. So again, that's one of the really important things about perspective. And I think a lot of people are afraid to entertain other people's perspectives because they can't defend their own. When people can't defend their point, their conclusion that they've drawn, they want to typically do one of two things. They either change the subject, like you don't want to talk about this anymore, so now we're talking about something else, or they attack my character. You call me a name. That's like the biggest one. My own mom actually did this. She called me a bigot. Like, bigot? The fuck? Bigot? Really? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you're like a super intelligent person, but I don't think you're using that word right. You know, so I Googled it. I'm like, bigot, what the hell does that mean? So I read her the definition. I'm like, is this me? She's like, well, no. I'm like, thank God, because if it was, I'm like, fuck, I got a lot of work to do. You know, shit, lady. Don't scare me like that. I'm like, so let's get back to the point. And we do that a lot. And I think the more you just pay attention and use as much as you can, I know we're all emotional people, but as much as you can, try to use logic, try to think your way through these things. Don't let emotion get the best of you. The number one thing that kills people, you know, in emergencies, the thing that kills people during hurricanes, kills people during tornadoes, during scuba diving, is panic. People panic. They stop thinking.
Yep. They just act.
So learn to not panic. Reach out to somebody. You know, we all make mistakes. I've fished myself, for crying out loud. You know,
did you?
Yeah, test fishing. And I was like, oh, and I clicked the link and what the fuck? I just did my own damn fish.
I mean, that is the best. I'm so proud of you for making a fish one that good. Yeah. That you were able to successfully fish yourself. Are you kidding me? That was a damn good fish.
That was a good fish.
Yeah.
Got really, really good results on that, and I got paid a lot of money for it.
That's awesome. I'm sorry. I'm cursing a lot because I'm really excited. That's what happens.
It's okay. We put the E tag. We put the E tag on this podcast, so you can swear as much as you want.
Fantastic.
And that's part of being authentic. I swear a lot too. And I went to the last Hacks and Hops, and I was warned by many people.
Okay.
Having no swearing this time. I'm like, okay, I'll do my best. Out of respect, you know, I'll do my best. And then I had one lady come up to me and said, the whole reason why I came to this podcast was to hear you swear. And I was like, well, fucking A right.
Yeah.
Damn straight. Yeah. But that's another thing with like perspective. People, it's crazy. And I don't think they're stupid. I think they've sort of been programmed a little bit to not think anymore. Like they used to. You rely on technology to do your thinking for you. AI is going to make that a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you really understood perspective, when I use the word fuck, it could be offensive or it could be not offensive. If you put it in perspective, like say, holy fuck, that's awesome. You know, that's exclamation. That's excitement. That's surprise. Right. That's amazing. If I say, fuck you, fuck off, a little different.
That's aggressive. Yeah.
You might want to take offense to that one or, you know, grab your gun.
One or the other. You know what? That's the beautiful thing about curse words is they can be so versatile, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be an adjective, a verb. That could be that's a fuckload. That's a noun now, right? Now we've turned that into a noun. Like,
damn straight.
It's great. I love it. They say the most intelligent people curse a lot, so I must be the smartest person on the planet.
See, you got. Not only do you have the wisdom, you got some brains in you too, because there has been numerous scientific studies that do come to the conclusion that using swear words is a sign of intelligence. That's true.
Right. I think it's a good badge to wear. I don't mind it so much, but I do also know when to, you know, because if you want people to share their perspective with you, you have to make space for them. And if making space for them means you have to alter something slightly about the way you carry yourself, it's a trade-off, right? So you are showing up authentically, but not all the pieces of you all at once. because you want to create space for that other person to also bring their authentic selves forward, right? And if cursing is something that shuts you down as an individual, then I'll reel my cursing in, because I don't want you to be shut down. I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to connect.
Be real.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, if you're just real and you happen to swear a lot, well, then so be it. If some people are offended by it, well, then so be it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. What is it's not the end of the world, but it's very harmful for your own mental health, is to try to be somebody that you're not, is to try to continually to keep up the facade, knowing deep down that it's fake. This isn't really you.
Right.
This isn't what you really think, is it? I mean, if it is, then great. Because I have I'm a Christian guy, and I've had numerous people, Christian people, love them, whatever, tell me, well, you shouldn't swear so much. Okay. Appreciate, the input. Why? That's the thing. I mean, if you want to get to the bottom of just about everything, keep asking why until you run out of more whys. That's also another thing, by the way, that is the number one thing you can do to protect yourself from a social engineer is take them out of the pretext. I mean, I've been a social engineer, still am actually. I mean, everybody is. If you try to influence people to do things and things like that, you're a social engineer. The best social engineer I know is my fucking daughter.
She gets you every time. It's like,
oh my God, seriously.
Evan, does that feel like that time that you fell for your own fish when it's your daughter that socially engineers you with success?
I don't know what it feels
think about it. You created that fish. You created that social engineer.
I don't know what it feels like. It feels like I have.
You should be proud. Look how well you train that fish or that social engineer to social engineer you.
But if she was really that good, you would choose fucking different targets than your father.
Nah.
I mean, shit, you're supposed to love me. This doesn't feel like love, She's a wonderful, wonderful kid.
Yeah.
I have really good kids. But the stigma, when we don't talk about these things and we're not authentic, I don't think a lot of us realize how much harm we're causing to ourselves, how much harm we're causing to the people around us, the people we're consulting, the people we're working with. How many people just talk openly about the security bullshit that they got going on? We all try to posture like, well, I'm ISO certified. I don't give two fucks if you're ISO certified.
So, it's been said 1,000 times over and over and over again in different places. So please do not take this as I am just the beacon of truth, but it's not a matter
of... beacon of truth, Miss Arnold.
It's not a matter of if you're going to get breached or if your vulnerabilities are going to be discovered and exploited by a threat actor. It's when. It's just when.
And it's not even when. It already has.
Right?
I mean, if you've got that dipshit mentality about you, it already has. You haven't been watching The Front Door.
No.
If you go back to situational awareness, if I'm your attacker, where do you think I'm going? I'm going where you're not looking. And if you're not looking at anything, well, hallelujah, let's have a good time. So I love when people say that, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when did it already happen? And would you like me to do some threat hunting to try to help you get them out?
Right.
Well, what do you mean there's here? I haven't been ransomed. Well, there's lots of different ways to do things. If you don't have anything interesting enough, you don't have enough, capability to pay me the money I'm looking for, I'm just using you as a pivot. So I'm looking at whoever you're doing business with. I already pivoted into somebody else, like UHG. Those dipshits.
Yeah, that was a hard day, man, when they figured that shit out. That was not nice.
Well, so you mentioned when people, you talk to people and you tell them what you do for a living, and then, it's just kind of awkward. I was on an airplane coming back to Puerto Vallarta. The waitress? No, that's not what they're called. Flight attendant?
Flight attendant. Yep. There you go.
Asked me, what do you do for a living? And I don't know why she picked on me. I'm like, I do information security stuff. She's like, oh, like what? Oh. 90% of what I do is boring as fuck, and you would have given up, halfway into it. She's like, well, but that means you do kind of what clandestine shit. I'm like, I mean, if you're thinking Mission Impossible stuff, or no, that's not what I do. I'm overweight. I sit behind a computer all the time. I don't exercise enough. I eat really poorly because I'm just typing shit in a computer all the time. And I just squirrel a lot. Next thing I know, I found like, oh, what the hell is this? Oh, what that? You just keep pulling like strings, keep pulling threads. And you're like, next thing you know, you're like, whoa, damn, didn't, I better get out of here. I didn't actually have a contingency plan for being here. You ever been there? Have you ever gotten to a place where you're like, oh, damn it, I got to get out of here?
Yeah. I've done that a bunch of times. I never got someplace though, and I was like, I need to get out of here. I've gotten so deep sometimes that I'm like, oh, I forgot to do all these other things that are to keep me alive and my family alive, like feeding them dinner or wow, is it really 3 a.m. and I haven't drank any water today? Like that kind of stuff. It's never how it's oops.
Yeah. There's a younger generation. It's funny. I was thinking I don't know. I was debating this morning whether I should write a book about this, but it's, there's like 3 generations that span this gap. You have the generation before us that I think are a little lost with technology. They've adapted as much as they can, but it's not ingrained. You have us where we remember what it was like to be without a cell phone on our hip all the time. And now we know where we're at. We're the gappers. And then you've got this generation after us who they don't remember what it's like to be without any of this shit. They're so damn dependent upon it. And it's a weird spot. So this newer generation, mostly, a lot of them want to, tell me what you do. How do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, I ain't telling you shit. Like, well, why not? And I go, because you're going to fuck yourself up. You're going to kill yourself if you do this wrong. And the stuff that I've done, it's like you have to, so I kind of give a little hint. You master the art of creating personas. Like, what's a persona? Well, you do some research and, then it's crazy how many people fuck that up. I don't do that as much anymore, but I would spend 9 months minimum working a persona before I ever used the persona.
So for
9 months of really tedious work.
Wait, Evan, this is what you do when you're talking to the new generation about creating a persona.
Is it new or nude?
New.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Close. I don't know.
Okay, good.
Get up we're close. What have I heard? Okay, so just change your language a little bit. Instead of saying something like persona, I want you to tell them that they're going to roll a character.
Roll a character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's instead of persona, you say, well, you need to roll a character.
When I was growing up, when you would say roll a character, that would mean rob them.
No. So this is tabletop.
Not
D&D.
ROLL, not ROLL, ROLE.
Right. So this is
okay.
This is ROLL for tabletop role play. ROLE playing.
Okay.
And the newer generation will understand that a lot faster than when you say things like persona, create a persona, because it's a huge cultural spike right now in tabletop gaming, where it's things like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, any of the other ones that they like to play. So if you tell them instead of creating a persona, you say roll a character, they will understand a lot faster that they have to create a character with a backstory, or what you're saying, which is create a persona.
But here's the thing: at my age, I'm like that old guy.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to change. This is what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I'm so stuck in my damn ways now.
Okay.
I'm going to keep using persona because I'll forget what you said, roll character.
Okay.
I'll forget that.
But Evan, you don't start dying until you stop learning. When you stop learning, that's when your dying process has started.
Wait, say that again. Don't. Right.
So
if I stop learning, I start dying?
Yeah. That's when it starts.
I don't want to learn this, though. I want to learn other stuff.
But think about that generation you spoke to.
Say it again. Roll your character. Roll the character.
Roll a character.
Just roll a character.
You roll a character. It's
roll a character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of create persona, roll a character. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Did you ever play D&D?
Yeah, before. Yeah, back in the day, old
so
day.
Do you remember your paper sheet, your character sheet, the one piece of paper? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember rolling for your stats? Like you would physically roll dice for your.
Yeah.
your character statistics.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you want them to do, right? You want them to create a persona, which is similar
maybe.
to rolling a character. But they'll understand it fast because it's going to have backstory, right? Motive, right? How they're going to fit.
Yeah. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's rolling the character. They have to
breaking my brain right now, Rachel.
Sorry. I didn't mean to. Do we need
easy
to pause?
to do.
Do you need a break? Oh, okay. I just want to check in right there.
No, I'm 53 now, so the prostate is a little bit large, so the break is just wherever I'm sitting at the time. Yeah, it happens.
Is that your fun way of asking for a potty break? I don't understand.
No, it just means my potty breaks happen when you don't even know it.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were prepared.
Yeah. So stigma. What are some of the... No, I mean, I get it. The thing that pisses me off about stigma is how many people feel like they can't be themselves. How many, when you are a place that, or, you value stigma, like talking about touchy subjects like suicide, mental health, depression, anger, accountability, just things that are really lacking, I think, in our industry. When you don't do that, it depends on, like, you have a circle of influence. Everybody's got a circle of influence. You're not going to change the world, probably, because that's not your circle of influence. So it's the people around you. If you have a company, maybe it's the people in the company, who knows? But if you don't create this atmosphere for people and you don't at least think, fuck the stigma, what you're doing is you're creating an environment that it's almost like encouraging exclusion, encouraging isolation.
It does. It also encourages people to lie, cheat, steal, murder, a lot of other things. Because they...
Absolutely.
And loneliness.
They won't seek help.
Right.
My son was a police officer in Lenexa, Kansas during the George Floyd stuff. And so I rode my bike down there, not pedal bike. I don't do those.
I know.
I rode down to Kansas. Yeah. And I want to check in on him. How you doing? I don't know what it's like to be a cop in this atmosphere. It's got to be hard.
Yeah, got to be tough.
And so I asked him about his mental health, because I don't know if anybody else is even asking you. And he's like, yeah, it's a struggle right now. And I'm like, do they have resources for you? And he goes, yeah, they have resources for us, but nobody uses them. Like, why doesn't anybody use them? He goes, because of the stigma, because it goes on your record. Like, well, what the fuck is that? It creates this place where people aren't going to seek help. It really pisses me off the way we treat stigma. We're not open and honest and authentic with each other.
I actually once sat in an HR. We had like these HR, like we got a new HR person at this one company that I worked at. And I was having a lot of trouble with what I saw as a very toxic leader. And I spoke to a few other people that I trusted about the situations that were going on between me and that person, and tried everything. And whenever I got to, a lot of people were like, you need to report him. You need to report him to HR. That's what you need to do. And I thought, if I report him to HR, that's just, all that does is like paint this picture that he is a bad human. Which humans are many layered onions, right? Like, maybe
some of them smell like onions.
They do. Oh man. So instead, I went to my HR person and I said, "Hey, I think my VP is really struggling with understanding people who have ADHD or are autistic, because I was being evaluated for being autistic as well." A high-functioning autistic, but autistic nonetheless. And where we really struggled was that he was very unclear in what it was that he wanted from me, that I have to have, if you want me to accomplish something specific to you, I will ask you 1,000 questions. And it's not me creating pushback, which is how he saw it. It's me understanding to the level of detail in what it is that you want. And he couldn't answer like just the first 4 questions that I had on a really large project that was going to impact a lot of people in a lot of departments. And that's fine. If you want to trust me then to put this together and look over what I've got before we implement it, that's great. But if I'm asking you questions, please don't discern that I am questioning your authority over me, because that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, and shitty leaders are just shitty leaders, because the fact of the matter is, and I've said this so many times to my own employees, you don't work for me. I don't own you. You work for you.
Right.
And if I don't create the environment where it's the best place for you, then get the fuck out of here. So you do run into times when people are just assholes.
Yeah, you do. But it was his reaction to something that was going on, bigger picture, that later fell in, like the pieces started to fall into place for me. And I look back on how I handled every interaction that I had with him. And even though it was hard and it was a struggle for me to do those things and have those conversations with him, where I could have lost, I was so frustrated so many times on the inside that sometimes I would hang up those calls and just have to go unplug from my whole existence for like an hour, because my brain was in a million places all at once. But I created some of the best programs I'm the most proud of ever under those conditions. And I look back on it and think, wow, not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot my own fucking horn. Like,
do it.
Wow,
Toot it.
Look how amazing I am. Like, wow.
Right.
I can't believe that I got some of that stuff done. But it was the kind of thing where, there was a stigma in place, because even when I told him, hey, I have ADHD, I might be autistic, and so far these are the coping mechanisms that I've put in place, and here's some recommendations that I can give you on how we can work together as a team to get these things done, right? Like, it's okay if you don't have answers to all my questions. Please don't think that I am questioning your authority whenever I ask you questions about anything. And I had to go to the HR person and just ask them to give them more resources about how to lead. That also did not go over well with him. But I just kept trying, man, and plugging away at it, because I feel like he was struggling and he fell into the stigmas and shut down and wanted to close up and not be open about stuff. And he suffered greatly for it. Greatly. And here I was off to the side, even, with somebody over me that was struggling that hard. And I felt like I was going 110 miles an hour flying steady, man. I was having a great time. I met some lifelong friends in that situation that I will forever talk to. Some wicked smart people, and had a great time. Most of the time I was there. But there was a part where he almost got me, man. And it was really dark, very dark moment where, Will had to get on the phone with me, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm okay. He was like, you're not okay. And I was like, no, I'm not okay. And really talk through it.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
If you're not okay, being comfortable, understanding, recognizing that you're not, and having, the right place to go. Because the truth of the matter is, good leaders, you should always question their authority. They should welcome you questioning their authority. I want you to question my authority. Because I have blind spots all the fuck over the place. Right. And I need to know where I'm making bad calls.
Right.
I need to have people around me. I don't want yes men, because then I'm just going to lead us all off the damn cliff. You're not providing any value to me that way. And it's sad that we have so many leaders who don't lead well.
It is sad. But
it's all about them. It's all about their ego.
They also fall for the stigma, because they saw somewhere at some point that was the thing to be and the person to emulate.
Right.
And they thought the only way they're going to survive and keep, their status or whatever it is, their ego, everything else, is to be that person, to be that cold, hard, knows all the answers to all the questions ever, just rigid human. And back to octopi and cuttlefish, man.
Cuttlefish. Do you actually cuddle with cuttlefish? Is that a misnomer?
No, don't do that.
You don't cuddle with them. Okay.
That's a bad idea.
All right.
It's a bad idea.
If you say so. I'm going to trust you on this. So stigma has mental health repercussions. I think one of the things we hear about and we've read about so many times over the years in this industry is burnout and stress.
Yep.
And people, it's weird when I think about it. I've been in this industry for like 32 years now, I guess. And yeah, there's definitely been times when, there have actually been times I've cried. I've just been so like burnt. But I think what keeps you from burning out, what keeps you from protecting you from the stress is not denying it. Don't feed the stigma, recognize it. It's okay. Yeah. We're human beings. We have emotions. We deal with hard things. We see things that, I've seen so many things I can never unsee that I wish I could unsee, but I've got recognizing it, number one, and then compensating for it. There's things I'm really, really good at, and most things I'm not. I'm good at, some things. And so I try to maximize my strengths and minimize my weaknesses. So where I suck, I try to put somebody in that spot to unsuck me a little bit, somebody that I can trust and go and run to. So when I do feel burnt out, when I do feel stressed, I have my wife, I have close friends. But if the stigma persisted, I wouldn't have that. I would have burnt out. I would not still be here. And honestly, probably dead. It's just, I've seen too much shit and been through too much shit. So fuck the stigma again.
I agree. I agree. Look, there's my other. Did you hear my alarm go off? It's one of I missed that one.
Is it time to go to bed?
No.
You mentioned another thing that I think is interesting. And I always like people's perspective on this because I don't think I've really suffered from it over the years. Imposter syndrome, because the stigma also has a significant impact or feeds the imposter syndrome. Have you dealt with that? Or, what's your experience with that?
With imposter syndrome? With me personally?
Yeah. Yeah. Or people people you're mentoring.
I've got one for people I know. So I am lucky enough to be mentored, or what I feel is mentorship, from some of what I also view are the top minds in our industry. I don't know why. And I'm okay with not knowing why. I'm just appreciative every time they reach out and ask how something's going that I told them I was working on, or whatever it is. And it's amazing. One of my mentors was at a location that another one of my what? How are you just going to get up and leave?
I'm still here. I just had to grab something. Can you hear me still?
I can. Can you hear me?
I'm coming right back.
I'm still here. I'm listening too, because I got the headphones in. These are Bluetooth.
Got you.
Very easily hackable, but currently not hacked. So keep going with your story. I'm listening.
Okay. Just over this week, one of my mentors, I checked in with him and asked what he was up to, and he said he's at a conference, and Chris Roberts was there, and I said, "Oh, Chris, did you get to talk to him or hang out or meet?" And he said, "No, Chris Roberts is much too cool for me." And I'm thinking, bitch, you're the coolest motherfucker I know. You should go talk. Right? You and Chris would love each other. Not love each other, but you know what I mean? Y'all would get along. Like, really. You should go and say hello.
And it's crazy how
it was too late. Chris had already left to go home.
And it's crazy how, we put people on these pedestals. Like, if you actually know Chris, you realize how human he actually is.
He really is.
You realize how
he's a giant Scottish teddy bear.
Well, and he's just as broken as you are.
Yeah, it's totally fine. He's just a person. He's just a person that has had some opportunities arise, and he did not shy away from them.
He made some poor choices.
Right. Opportunities don't always have to be good.
Yeah, we've all made poor choices. His just was maybe a little worser.
Well, and then personally for me on the imposter syndrome piece, it's fleeting. There aren't specific. It's not like all the time. It's not like something that's all the time sitting there hovering over me. It's something that it always seems to strike right when I'm the most vulnerable. And then I have to go down my checklist of, have I drank enough water today? Did I eat something? Have I touched grass recently? Like, have I been sitting in my squirrely hole and now I'm in, like, or have I not socialized today? with people that really know me, right? That's something that I try to teach my kids about as they're picking up devices and connecting, is socializing through digital media is not the same as sitting with someone in a conversation.
No.
Right? That's not.
You're gonna hear this in detail in episode 8 when my wife joins.
Yeah. Why?
No, I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
It's in our DNA that we are social creatures.
Yeah.
And it's not artificial social. You need to be face to face.
Yeah.
There's actually numerous studies that people will die without physical touch.
Yeah. It's a thing. You do actually.
It really is a thing.
So I go down my checklist of stuff whenever I'm feeling that self-doubt and that imposter syndrome start to creep in. And then, I'll feel better. Or if it still persists after I go through my checklist, which it rarely does. It's usually one of those things that I've forgotten to do, right? I've forgotten to fill my own cup is basically what it is. And the imposter syndrome is a red flag that my cup runneth empty kind of thing. And it's,
so when you encounter imposter syndrome, you are able to get out of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the times. I don't think there's ever been, if I've ever been really stuck, there's always Josh.
Okay.
There's always Josh.
Which is awesome, right? That's key to, I think, to so much of this is having somebody in your life who actually knows you, you know what I mean? Isn't going to judge you, on a whim. When you've encountered an imposter syndrome, these episodes or these times, is it usually an external factor, internal factor, or we don't know for just for you?
It's usually external. It'll be an external thing that I'll pick up.
Is it something that somebody said, or you were in a?
I've had imposter syndrome before because of something somebody has said. I was told once that I was like a Tesla.
With that.
Right. So this person's opinion of Teslas was that they seemed beautifully designed on the outside, but on the inside they were nothing but shit parts. And they called me a Tesla right after they gave me that description of how they felt about Teslas. Yeah. You know what I did? I sent him a picture of that time that me, Chris Roberts, and a bunch of other people over at GurCon hacked the Tesla Model 3. And I was the one that got the last flag. And we took a picture together. And I went,
awesome.
I went, by the way, I have hacked a Tesla before. And I am not a Tesla. If anything, I'm a Ford F-150 bitch.
Hey, that's my truck right out there.
That's my truck right out there. Mine's an FX F-150. It's black interior. It was definitely a used truck we bought.
Oh, are we in the posturing thing right now? Because I have the Lobo trimmer.
See, no, yours is going to be fancier than mine. Mine's an old truck. I don't know what that is. Evan, my truck is like 10 years old.
I love old trucks. It's the reliability. That's why it's crazy because like when people hear that I'm a Ford guy, they're like, well, they start posturing on the Chevy thing. It's just a thing country boys do, I guess.
I don't give a shit. I've driven a Chevy too. I don't care. It's just, I really like a good, dependable, reliable piece of transportation. Yeah. I don't give a shit about Teslas.
Right. Well, and I'm not anti-Chevy just because I'm pro-Ford.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm just a loyal consumer. So as long as Ford keeps serving me well, I'll just stick with Ford. As soon as they piss me off enough, I won't go back.
Here's some authenticity for you. Until probably the last 3 or 4 years, I was not in an economic bracket that could afford to have loyalty to one brand or the other.
Been there.
I was loyal
I've been there.
to the one I could afford.
Yep.
And didn't break. That's it.
Absolutely. That's how I learned so much about working on cars. It was out of necessity. I couldn't afford to have any of my cars fixed, so I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now, that I'm at this stage in my career, I can afford to have other people work on my cars, but I still enjoy doing it because I get to learn, something new. And plus it feels, good to get your hands dirty sometimes. But on that, the thing that this dude said, I mean, I know it's got to be easier said than done. Because I hear it so much. I just hear it so much about how people care about what other people think. And it must be easier said than done. I think it's because of my upbringing, being an only child and everything. I just don't give a shit what people think.
Hey, Evan.
That's easy. That's easy for me,
I'm going to tell you what, the only time I've ever cared about what somebody else thought about me is whenever that person was responsible for ensuring the fact that I was getting paid on a regular basis. That's when I cared. Or I care what Josh thinks of me.
For sure.
But anybody else outside of my family and friends, and I'm not saying like I will be unauthentic with them. I'm just saying, like, if I've hurt them, it matters to me that I fix it. But
well, that's the thing about stigma; it can be used against you, right?
Yeah, it's a lot scarier whenever it's somebody that's responsible for ensuring your livelihood is still happening. Right. That's when it gets scary, and that's when it gets evil and weaponized, especially in our industry.
Yeah. What would be your advice for that? How would you overcome that? Whether to avoid that situation to begin with or prepare yourself for when you're in that situation, what advice would you have for somebody?
To prepare themselves to be faced with stigma? I think.
To be faced with stigma, because you said the only time it would really matter what somebody thought about you was if they controlled your paycheck.
Yeah.
So how do you minimize that impact?
You plan. 100%.
Okay.
You have to plan. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky that Josh and I are able to plan for if that happens. And that wasn't something we did walking into some situations where suddenly I've left a job or he's left a job because it was toxic. Josh has left jobs before where they were terrible environments to work in. But we always had each other's. We've always had each other's back on it, financially, spiritually, emotionally, right? And allowed one another the space needed to grieve that as an actual loss, because it hurts your feelings, no matter if it's you deciding to walk out or them telling you to get out, right? It hurts.
Yeah.
There's a big hit to your pride that happens, and you need time to cope and deal with it. So you have to plan for those things. Always.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think because I've had that too, there's been a couple of positions where there was only one place I worked where I actually had a really big bout of depression because it sucked so bad. It's a big corporate environment, Fortune 10 company, and I hated it. Nobody was interested in doing the right thing. Everybody was just follow, and I hated it because you saw so many things that were broken that you weren't empowered to fix and whatever. And so I think the thing that really helped me to avoid that ever again, it's the thing about people, right? Pavlov said this, and I've used this example many times. Change habits, if there's a benefit, a significant benefit, the benefit has to be commensurate or exceed the effort. And on the second side, it's either benefits or it's pain. You put your hand on the fucking stove. Well, you move that motherfucker really fast because it hurts really bad. Same thing with like work. If it hurts bad enough, you'll leave. If you feel like you're stuck in it and you can't leave, well then, I mean, something's got to give someday, something. And I think it can lead to significant, mental health issues, even suicide, depression, burnout, stress, you name it. But the one thing I took away from that experience for myself was to prepare again is I'm going to pour so much into me. I'm going to learn. I'm going to fucking be the best me again, back to being the best me I can be, to where if I work in a place like that, I can say, fuck off. And I'll go find some other thing to do. And I don't care.
Yeah.
Because, when I started FR Secure, I lost my house. I didn't have any money. Lost my house, had 4 kids at home. My wife broke my car because she sucks at driving. I don't mind saying that.
She tells you how to drive, though.
I know. You have to humor her.
I'm going to like her so much. I can
she's the most amazing person. She's crazy good. So you're in this situation, but I think we put so much value in comfort sometimes that we're afraid to be uncomfortable. We're afraid, like, well, what happens if I just quit this job? I don't know. Try it. You're not going to die. You could, but I don't know. Well, at some point, and everybody's got a tolerance level, I have believe it or not, I have a very high tolerance for anger. It takes a lot to get me mad.
I've actually never seen you angry. So
you don't want to see it, because when it gets there, it's really bad. It's really bad. Take your shit, but then eventually you get to a point where I'm not taking shit anymore. The stigma, the bullshit, the toxic environment, the being told things that aren't true, the tearing people down, that's it. I'm done with it. I don't need this shit. I'm going to go find a place. I'm going to plant my seed in a field that's fertile, and I'm going to grow into a big fucking tree and take over your shit and drop apples on your fucking head or something. I don't know. I just kept going down the path on that one. I don't even know what the hell I was saying.
You're good. I was following. You're gonna take. Yeah, I got it. No, it's good. It's good. I like that you're gonna go plant your seed in a field that's fertile and fuck the Dust Bowl. I got it.
And drop my fucking apples on your head. Tired of this shit.
That's projectiles.
Yeah. But you learn from that, all right? We learn from these experiences, and the stigma doesn't help. It goes back to the thing that really pisses me off about people that I've lost over the years, or people that have felt just lost. We have this open thing, with all the employees at Secure. I know some of them feel like intimidated to talk to you. You're like, well, you're the CEO. I'm like, then take the fucking title away.
Talk to you? They're intimidated to talk. Your own employees, sometimes it happens?
Sometimes. Because I learned this. I learned this from people when I talk to them. I'm like, they'll say something. I'm like, why the fuck didn't I know about that? Why didn't you tell me about that? They're like, well, because, they're a little intimidated. What the fuck are you intimidated by? Is it the look? Is it the beard? Is it the tattoos? Is it the...
No.
What is it?
You know what it is? It's not your fault. It's not
they say it's the title. Sometimes the title can be intimidating.
Not your fault. That's okay. Look, I'm telling you right now, Evan, unless you were a completely different person than any interaction I've ever had with you, which I seriously doubt.
No, I'm not.
I think you're exactly the person I've interacted with. Yeah. I'm telling you, that is carried over trauma that they have encountered or they have heard about in a third party fashion from somebody else, that it might be a title thing. Have you ever considered just being called fearless leader? Drop the CEO thing.
Yeah, well, actually, I did drop the CEO thing, because here's another leadership tip that I really firmly believe in, is good leaders are always looking for their replacement.
Yeah.
I don't find regardless of how many years I've been doing what I do and how passionate I am and the mission and all that stuff, I don't find my identity in what I do for a living. I don't find my identity here. So you're always looking for your replacement. And I told Oscar Minks, he's the president now of FR Secure. When we hired him, it wasn't long before I recognized, like, this is a guy this is good shit right here, this dude. So I told him, and I need to change this actually, but I told him back then that you're like version 2 of me. You have more features, less bugs, more reliable, better performance. I mean, fuck, dude, you're better than me. I mean, it's okay. And back then, because he's still very humble, and you need to be humble, but he also was like, oh, no. And I'm like, dude, yes, you are. And it's okay. You're supposed to be. It's like when you raise your kids. My son is supposed to be better than me. My daughter is supposed to be better than me. Mm-hmm. If I let my ego get in the way, then you hold them back. Fuck that shit. And so Oscar's the president, and then at the beginning of the year, I promoted John Harmon, again, better than me, as the CEO. So now I'm just a guy. I still own the place, but
You're Evan. Now you're Evan. That's your title.
Yeah. Well, there was an ulterior motive too, because, I'm all about honesty, because that's our number one core value. You have to tell the truth. So the ulterior motive was less fucking meetings. Hello. Don't want any more motherfucking meetings.
You don't love meetings?
The only meetings I like, I have 4 meetings a week that I really, really enjoy. And they're my one-on-ones. I have a one-on-one with Oscar. Mm-hmm. I have a one-on-one with Seth, who's actually leading another company that I started. One-on-one with Vinay. Vinay's our CFO. Thank God she doesn't talk fucking finances, because then it wouldn't be my favorite meeting.
Yeah.
And then one-on-one with our CEO. So, because those one-on-ones are just, I want to know how you're doing. Like, how are you? We rarely talk about business.
Right. Those are my favorite meetings. Most of my meetings, by the way, Evan, like 80% are like this. Like what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then somehow during the meeting, I managed to squirrel around within the time frame too, of like, these are like the agenda points, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the meeting, I'm like, great. So let's see. What did we do? What did we get done? And I go through, because I take notes while I'm in any meeting. And I'm like, look at that. We made a decision here. We talked about this. We did this thing. We did that. And then we got to bullshit for 40 minutes. Wasn't that great? And they're like, well, this is awesome. Can we do this again? I'm like, yeah, absolutely we can.
And at my stage of, where I'm at, my career and everything, if you invite me to a meeting, any meeting with an agenda, you'll regret it.
Yeah, terrible. Let's not do that.
Well, because I'm the guy who takes us off the agenda. I don't give two fucks about the agenda. I want to know about you. I want to know how you're doing. I already know you know what to do. You're an expert in this area. And if you weren't and you had struggles, you would come and talk to me about it and we'd be fine. So let's not spend the time. There's also, I have another issue I have with...
Wait. Before we get off of this really quick, I want to offer, right? Because you said you appreciate perspectives. Here's my perspective on meeting agenda.
I do.
If you are able to structure a meeting into an agenda with bullet points and all this other stuff, why the fuck isn't that email, or why the fuck isn't that meeting just an email?
Just a fucking phone call. I mean, just pick up the damn phone. I mean, I don't answer, but whatever, leave a voicemail. I'll call you back. I agree. And I think a lot of times, maybe some of it goes back to the stigma thing. I think, I hired Meg Perron. I love her.
You got
I love
a
all
Meg?
my employees.
I've got a Meg.
I do have a Meg. Well, here's the thing about Meg. So
Meg
I started the CVCISO program, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started it because I was angry enough that it motivated me, that I hated people calling themselves VCISOs when you're causing more damage than you are good. So we created this CVCISO program. And the very first cohort, I guess they call it, and I created that fucking class while I was teaching it, which was just stupid as hell. Don't do that. If you ever don't, oh my God, it was so stressful. But Meg is a 50-something, actually 60. So I don't know how old she is. Older than me probably. Transitioned from K-12. She was a K-12 high school principal.
Awesome. So you got the right person to structure a class.
Well, she wasn't. She was a student. I didn't know any of this stuff. She went through the cohort and you could just tell that she had those intangibles. That's what we've always hired for. You hire for the intangibles. You can teach you security stuff. It's not fucking rocket science. I can't teach you to be a good person. And she was the first ever. There's like 500 or so now, certified VCISOs or whatever. And she was the first one. A female, older, transition, right? I mean, I'm like, and so I hired her. I'm like, you got it. And she's like, and she never feels like she's got it. She's got very little confidence. But the thing is, just think of your fucking story, how inspirational you are. You hit so many things, like you're female, you're a transitioner, you're old. I mean, people don't say that shit anymore, like you're old. Like, well, that's offensive. I don't give a fuck, you're old. I mean, shit. Just call it like you see it. Like, I'm like, you have so much, people will look up to that and you will inspire people to get into this industry. We need more people to do shit right. And you're one of those people. So it's like, Now she is a little high maintenance and she hates when I say that. She's like my work mom too, because she always feels like she's got to remind me. She does, but whatever. Anyway, Meg. That's another stigma.
High maintenance. I want to meet Meg.
People, you do need to meet Meg. She'll be down here. Her and her husband, Jim, are going to be down here, I don't know, a couple weeks. Because, everybody's welcome here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Make me an introduction to Meg.
All right, Meg Perron, Perron. Just, whatever you do, LinkedIn that thing or something.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah, and you'll find her. Yes, she would love the support. She would love it because she struggles, I think, with this. This is a shit industry, honestly. So many times, I don't know that because I've been here for so long, but I hear it over and over and over again by people trying to get into this industry, how difficult it is, how intimidating it is, how imposter syndrome.
So I didn't
God knows what else.
I didn't experience any of that. The imposter syndrome a little bit, which we touched on,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't experienced it being difficult. I
think you found the right people. I think you found your way in.
But and this is something I go over with like my mentors that are trying to work on networking. I'm like, so where do you feel that you struggle networking with other people? And they're like, well, I don't know how, do you like for instance on LinkedIn, they're like, well, do you just reach out and hit the connect button? I'm like, literally, yes. Yeah, that's it right there. There's a little thing that'll pop up that'll say add a note, and you say things like, notice that you're in the industry I'm trying to go into and in my area. Can I buy you a cup of coffee sometime? I shit you not, Evan. I did that shit 1,000 times over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And be responsive when they reach back out and just talk to them. And then you make plans in a public space, right? Because, women have different things to think about.
Especially if you're not selling something. I won't accept your connection if you open up that, hey, investor guy. It's like, fuck, I get so much of that shit.
Oh man.
But that goes back to,
I'm like, whatever it is, I want you to imagine that you are standing in a public space. I don't care where it is, wherever you're comfortable. You're standing in your Lowe's or your Home Depot or your Walmart or whatever it is. You're standing there and you notice that somebody else is standing next to you. What do you say to that person? Do you say hello? Do you walk right by them? Do you
I say, fuck off, give me your wallet.
Right? Do you say, fuck off, give me your wallet? What do you say to that person standing next to you? Maybe you notice that they're struggling to reach, like I'm 6 foot tall. I notice when short people can't reach shit on the top shelf, and I will just go by and grab it for them and go, is that the one you wanted?
I was at Home Depot today, and some sweet Mexican old lady asked me to get something off the top shelf for her. I thought that was so cool.
See? That shit. I keep my eye out for that shit. And it's easy.
Do you know what I told her?
I'm real tall.
I told her to fuck off.
You did. Oh,
no,
God.
I didn't.
No, you didn't. You got
it.
And then you followed her around the store for an hour to see if you could help her get all of her shit to the front.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a recording of this? Or is this just...
You probably did.
That's the whole point, right? I mean, we've got this industry. I mean, the fact of the matter is, right, we're here to help other people.
Right.
This is a fucking service industry. This is not a product industry.
Yeah.
We use products to serve people.
Yep.
And not to serve me and my fat ass ego. We're here to serve other people. Right? It goes back to this love thing when I told you that, I told my wife that I never loved her. It was the selfless love. And the truth of the matter, and I was talking to Ryan about this morning. If you focus on the mission, you'll make plenty of money. I mean, seriously, there's so much money floating around in this industry. Stay focused on your purpose and why you're here. It will help you navigate the stigma bullshit, right? Yep. I think a lot of people go through their day-to-day routine without truly understanding their purpose. Like, why am I fucking here? If the reason why you're here is just to make a lot of money, that's a pretty fucking shallow purpose. It's going to get questioned and it's going to be challenged. And then you're going to face that boss who's a dick, or you're going to face whatever, the stress, it's the purpose that I always go back to.
So what is your purpose?
My purpose is to fix,
like in one sentence, can you give me your purpose?
Fix this industry.
Okay. Can you be more specific?
Every single thing that I do, I ask myself, am I contributing to the fix from making the problem worse?
Right. I like it. Mine is much more specific. Yours is much more broad.
Well, and I'll tell you my life purpose, where it draws from my life purpose.
Yeah.
My life purpose is I'm going to die. I don't know if people are ever think about this, but yes, you will die as well. We all do. Yes. When I die, I just want to hear Jesus say, well done. So my purpose actually boils down to 2 words. It's well done. From that comes, I hate. There's one thing I hate. There's really the only thing I hate in this world is people taking advantage of other people. Hate it. I hate cheaters. I don't hate cheaters. I hate cheating. I have to separate that a lot. My own kids growing up played, Xbox and everything, and they'd insert a cheat code. If they ever inserted a cheat code and I caught it, nope, you're done. The game's over. You're not playing anymore. So you were banned from the game.
Did I sent you that picture, right, of me and we were sitting in me and Josh's room. Josh is sitting next to me. You see my 3 kids lined up in the middle there. I sent you this picture like the other day.
I love it.
Oh no. I said,
yes,
oh no.
I love it.
No, I got bed bugs.
Amen.
We were playing Mario Kart, and my sons, right? I got 2 sons and the daughter in the middle. My sons, when they play the battle thing, and they like to change what items the other team gets, like the CPU team gets. And I told them, I said, that's cheating. You've made it easier for yourself and harder on that poor CPU. They tried to, Mommy, will you play with us? Will you play with us? Yes, but it's got to be even Steven. But it's just a computer. I said, one day those are going to be your overlords, and you better be polite. And we're not cheating.
Well, not just that, but that's awesome, because I love that. I love that sort of parenting. Because what I would always tell my kids growing up was, the reason why you unlock these new guns, these new features and everything, is because you earned it.
Right.
When you just do the cheat code, you lost out on all that it took to earn it.
Yeah. You don't actually win. You put it on easy mode for yourself. Don't do that. Yeah, anyway, sorry. That was my thing about cheating. Whatever you mentioned.
I love it. No, I'm the same way. Way. I hate people taking advantage of other people. So it's not, and that's why I'm so passionate about, it's not just the attackers. It's not just nation state bullshit and all the other things. It's people in our industry who are taking advantage of other people. Yep. There's lots of that going on, a hell of a lot more than that than people talk about. There's lots of people selling products that they don't need, they can't use. It's, it doesn't work. And there's lots of people offering advice in this industry that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're actually causing more damage than they are good. Or they do that
thing where they offer advice that's like this blanket advice, whenever every environment, every network, every team of humans that runs that and manages that and secures that is as unique as individual fingerprints. You can't give me blanket advice on individual fingerprint. Like, you just can't. That's not going to cover it, man. You have to know. So
this isn't one size fits all then?
No, you have to 100% understand the intricacies of that. What you mentioned earlier about meeting people where they're at is so valuable and important. If you walk into some place that's just their security is on lock and they're the best, right, of everything, sure, go ahead. Let's talk to them about helping vendors develop their products to make better products, right? That's where those people are at. If you walk into some place and they don't know how to get all of their users to adopt multi-factor authentication, you need to meet them where they're at. They don't need next generation. What was the thing you said? Anti-phish, next generation MFA? Was that what you said at the beginning of this?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
They don't need that. They don't need that. They just need to turn the switch on the basics, the bare minimum first. You have to meet them where they're at.
Well, knowing that the worst enemy of information security is complexity. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. And that's the thing. I think so many people struggle with information security and understanding it is they want to put boundaries around it. That's why they have that saying, get your hands around it, get your arms around it. What bucket does it fit in? The thing with information security is it doesn't fit in a bucket. It's in all of your fucking buckets. So it's basic, fundamental responsibility things. It's basic, fundamental accountability things. Like in my own house, why would I put something in my own house if we're going to use it irresponsibly? If it might cause harm to other people, and including myself and my family. You would never do that, but we're so caught up in this emotional decision-making thing. We don't use logic as much as we should in our decision-making. And because emotion is things like anger, fear, frustration, whatever. And it's also the number one killer, by the way, which is panic, which is usually driven by fear. We already touched on that. That's what kills people. So you're using those same kind of emotion-driven decisions to buy more shit, to put more technology into your environment. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's going to take, unfortunately, it's going to take pain before you're finally going to get knocked out of your sense. Be like, what the fuck just happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. You have 48 different applications in your environment that you're not even fucking using. You didn't even know you fucking had.
I hate that shit when they just don't know. I hate that. I love
situational awareness.
I love letting them know that. But and you know how that happens. right? It's just sometimes the whole group is moving so fast, or it's huge amounts of attrition all at once, or right, like, and all these other.
I think a lot of times it goes back to the stigma too, right? Who wants to be the outlier? Who wants to be the person like everybody's got the fucking iPhone 16? Well, shit, I'm still using the Motorola flip phone. I'm still using the fucking Razor. What the fuck's wrong with me?
I don't care who knows that I'm an Android user. Sorry.
Because be you. Once because when you're you, then you can be honest about it, and then you can embrace situational awareness. I don't give a fuck what everybody else is thinking. I'm focused on me. I'm focused on my own environment. I'm focused on my own house. I'm focused on the technology in my house. I don't give two fucks about what you're using. I'm not trying to protect you. That's your job. There's so many people in our industry, I think, that have such a high ego that they actually believe that they can protect you. They can't. I can't. No matter what I do, Rachel, I cannot protect you.
No, but
I can give you advice.
You can advise me. Yeah.
I can try to create an environment where there's not stigma, where you can feel comfortable telling me, Evan, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. Or you can say, whatever you're struggling with. It's this sense of truth and authenticity in our environment, in our world, that's fucking us in cybersecurity and life. And it bothers me. So going back to that mission thing, I hate it because I think it's being used by people that do have situational awareness, and it's being used against us. Microsoft doesn't have any fucking problem selling you more shit. And they'll give two fucks if you're fucked with their shit. Either does CrowdStrike or Mandiant or, name it. Because at the end of the day, their motivation is to make more money. And you can't blame them for that. That's what they're here for. If you circle it back, who does it really fall on? It falls on you. You made the choice. You installed the shit. You didn't understand the shit. Stop for a minute. Understand the shit.
Yep.
And it's okay to not fucking understand it.
It definitely is. It's not okay.
I wasn't dropped out of the womb being able to read fucking packets.
Right.
I learned it.
And whenever you don't understand it, don't choose ignorance. Like, now you double dumb. Like, why? Whenever you realize, I don't know something about this, the little light bulb should go on that says, I need to understand this more. And I should ask questions so that my research has a direction in the way that I need to go.
I love it. That's logic you're using right there, because it's like you're almost begging to become a victim, and then you complain when you're a victim.
Right. That's terrible.
And I think for us, in our industry, that's why I love what you're doing, Rachel. And I think you're perfectly equipped for it, because you have this outgoing personality. You are personal. You are empathetic, and you're working on training and awareness programs. Man, that's like a perfect place, because we can drive home the fact that this is a people problem. It's a perspective problem. Look at this from a different angle. I know in your world, it seems like it's okay to keep buying this new technology and putting it in your environment. But let me share with you another perspective that you should account for, because at the end of the day, this is about risk management. I don't want you to be ignorant. That makes you a victim. If I was a bad guy, I'm not, because I'm driven by that first mission. Thank you, Jesus. But if I was a bad guy, I would fuck over so many fucking people that I would have 100 times the money I have. It'd be like, but that's not the motivation. The motivation is, I'm tired of seeing people get taken advantage of. And we need to get their attention. We need to break down the stigmas. We need to say, fuck the stigma. If you are a victim, if you did make a mistake, I want to hear about it. Not to judge you, but to fucking help you.
Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, you got to ask for help. You have to ask for help. Because if you don't ask for help, what's going to happen? You're going to get hurt every time.
And I'm going to have Mike Kennedy back on this podcast, because he and I, have had some side conversations about elderly people. And I think I might invite my mom, and he might invite his mom, because that really pisses me off, because it's like you just took advantage of like the weakest sort of part of the population. Why do they feel so ashamed? Basically, we adopted this new technology much faster than our ability to use it responsibly. We basically fucked them over. They're ashamed for it. If anybody should be ashamed, it should be us. Anyway,
I don't know.
I don't want to see another person get fucked over.
I am in charge of like a lot of stuff that goes on with my dad. He just turned 80.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Yeah. And he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got a lot of end of life thoughts that are happening now. He was diagnosed about 2 years ago with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He's got like stage 3 kidney failure. Like every day we talk, and I said, "Dad, how you doing today?" He goes, "All about the same." And I know what that means.
Has he ever been to Mexico?
It means shitty. He's doing shitty. He won't get on a plane.
Mexico?
He won't get on a plane. He has scar tissue damage in one of his lungs that we thought was lung cancer for a second. It turned out not to be. And he has like a partially collapsed lung on that side. So he struggles with breathing, and he already was afraid of heights and airplane. So it makes it worse. Like the anxiety, and he starts to breathe too fast, and it's not okay.
Did you know I had cancer?
Did I know that you had cancer? Had it or have it?
Oh, I think it's in remission. I haven't gone back to the doctor.
Hey, Evan, you should go back to the doctor, buddy. No, I didn't know you had cancer.
Thank you. My wife has also told me that. Yeah, they took out one of my kidneys. It was a tumor on my kidney that was malignant, but it hadn't metastasized at that time.
Is this why Chris and Ryan were always harping on you about energy drinks?
Oh, fucking no. I don't listen to them.
Oh, how long ago was this?
I don't know. I don't even know what day today is. It's, I don't know.
Are we talking years or like weeks ago, Evan?
4 or 5 years ago.
This is why Evan and Chris were all, or you're Evan. This is why Chris and Ryan were always harping on you about drinking energy drinks. And I wondered if it was something to do with your kidneys. And I just thought, well, that's none of my business. That makes sense. Sorry. Pieces are falling into place. But they would always harp on you whenever you guys did the security shit show. Every time you had a damn energy drink in your hand, I could see Chris looking at you sideways and Ryan going, "You shouldn't drink that." And you'd go, "Yeah, whatever. I do what I want."
Yeah, I still do what I want.
I know, but it makes sense. Sorry, I had a light bulb go off in my head.
That's awesome. No, it's cool. It's cool when things come full circle. I like that.
But so, Dad turning 80. We're talking about elders. We're gonna get there.
Yes.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back again. You know, that guy shows
Rachel,
up here and tells me.
Rachel, I will encourage you to pat yourself on the back as much as you possibly fucking can, because I do know you enough to know that you're not an egotist and you need the fucking encouragement. So go ahead.
So my dad will show up here whenever he has the slightest problem, and he does not look ashamed. And I make sure to tell him a lot of times, "I'm really glad you came over. I'm really glad that you asked for my help." I think that's part of it. I think that generation could use some encouragement that being wrong or asking for help. Because from my perspective, and please correct me if I'm wrong, most of those folks in that age range feel like asking for help is a sign of weakness in and of itself. Right. And it's the pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of mentality. Like this thing where they can never be wrong because being wrong also is a sign of weakness. Right. And I'm like, creating an environment, the same environment that I create for my kids to admit when they're wrong or need help and make mistakes, is a lot of the same things that I do when I'm interacting with my dad. But obviously not on a kid level, right? Like I respect my dad very much, and not that I don't respect my kids. This is coming out weird. Anyway,
I get you. I get where you're coming from.
Right? It's a different audience, right? I don't talk to my kids the same way I talk to my dad. So, but I've made that an open door thing. Dad, I don't care if I'm on a meeting. If you want to come in and just like sit down, chill on the couch, pet a dog, right? Like, here, pet a dog, Dad, and wait for me. I'll come help you with your insurance login, or I'll come help look at that email to see if it's fishy looking, or you forgot where you put your banking app on your phone.
I forgot. And like with my mother, my mom's actually coming down here next week.
Nice.
Yeah, she's 77. My father passed away, I don't know, some number of years ago. I lose track. But that thing, when you mention the sign of weakness thing, that's stigma.
Yeah.
It goes back, I think of my son, whom I have multiple sons, but this one, actually, I love them all, but this one in this particular instance, not going and seeking mental health assistance when you need it, instead of it counting against you, it should count for you. You should give people benefits for being honest. You should give people benefits for going and seeking mental health assistance if they need it, as opposed to penalizing them. It's ludicrous that we work this way.
It really is. I think going and improving your emotional state of being should be celebrated just as highly as a college graduate, high school graduate. Because whenever you go
even more so sometimes, because, man, you have to face that fucking...
That's hard.
That difficult truth of looking yourself in the mirror and recognizing where you suck.
I congratulate my dad all the time for losing his banking app. I'm like, it's good. Or I'll just tell him, that's easy to do. And the only reason I know how to fix this, Dad, is because I've accidentally slid my little app widgets to the wrong page on my phone. It's okay, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happens. I'm glad you came over here and asked for help. Like, and I'm glad when people go and find resources for their own emotional, spiritual well-being. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you know how many people would just lay there? And do you know why depression is so deadly? It's because you can't change. Once depression is sitting on your chest like a big, fat, sassy cat that weighs 1,000 pounds, it sits there and purrs at you and tells you, you don't need to get out of bed. Outside world is terrible. Stay right here with me. It's safe, right? So the fact that they get up, put on their fucking pants, and go down to the fucking street to go talk to somebody about, I need help, and this cat's real fat. Like, that's amazing. You had to lift all that shit off your chest and walk out of your door. You should be celebrated.
Men's history, you should. Because that was the point, actually, of this episode. And I thought that's why you'd be a perfect candidate for it, is because you get it. Fuck the stigma. I truly mean fuck the stigma. There's not a single stigma anywhere ever that's a healthy stigma.
No.
And so if you don't know what stigma is, Google it. You need to create an environment that's accepting, that's loving, that's encouraging, that builds people up, not tears people down. I have no problem tearing people down. The people that I enjoy tearing down are the enemies, the assholes, the people that do take advantage of other people. I don't mind tearing the fuck of you down. And I do a lot of shit to them that you never read about or hear about. And I enjoy that. It's the people that are in the game for the right reasons. If you're here for the right reasons, if you want to learn more, you don't want to become a victim, or you have become a victim and you're a good person, I mean, whatever. That's why we're here. That's why this entire industry is here, by the way. This entire fucking industry is here to serve people, not to tear you down, not to create an environment where you feel ashamed or you feel stupid. If you feel stupid, that's not a reflection of you. That's our fucking industry. Fuck the industry. You're not stupid. And so anybody who does run into these things and struggles with these things, there's me, there's Rachel, there's many people like us that want to be supportive, that are in this game for the right reasons. The last thing you ever want to do is go buy some shit. That's not going to fix your fucking problem. What's going to fix your fucking problem is situational awareness. It's having honest people around you that will point out your problems, point out your issues, point out your weaknesses with no fucking bias, no ulterior motive. I don't benefit. And I also don't suffer. I don't benefit if you take my advice. I also don't suffer if you fuck yourself by not taking my advice. Not like you do. But when you do suffer, I'm not going to fuck you over with it. I might remind you, but only to remind you to build that, I think that trust. This is why I love working with you, Rachel, in this industry. I look forward to doing more stuff with you because we are in this game for the right reasons, and we need to take this same mentality, break down these stigmas, these barriers together. We'll be a lot more I think, impactful together than working kind of solo.
I agree. I like it.
I'm a solo guy, so I need to be reminded all the time, like, hey, Evan, there's other people and shit.
There are, because otherwise you're just an octopus, Evan. Don't be an octopus.
You just told me that pussies are like the smartest animals or some shit. I want to be smart.
Yep. The only reason why they didn't climb the ladder, why we got to be at the top, though, is because they don't know how to communicate and form collaboration.
Share a video with you at some point if you remind me of two octopussies, octopi or whatever you call them, that were when I was scuba diving. I scuba dive a lot. They were fighting over the same rock. It was pretty fun to watch them duel it out. I was just a bystander. I was just like, hey, what's up, guys?
We'll have to send that to me.
So, Rachel, love to have you on again. And I'd love to actually talk less next time, because I recognized in my own like self-reflection, I talked too much on this episode. I want to have you back again. I want to hear more of your perspective because it's very refreshing. This is episode number 6, the first 5 episodes. And I'm just pointing out the obvious. I'm not, draw your own conclusions. The first 5 episodes were all men.
Okay.
Draw your own conclusions. You're the first female perspective that we brought to the show. And it's really, really, really important. And I value it a lot. So thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Will you come back again?
Yeah. Let's do it again.
This is a fucking shaka.
You have to come hang out in the chat tomorrow for coffee table talks.
I always forget. What time is that?
It's 11 a.m. Central. What time is it for you right now?
Now it's 10:25.
So it's going to be at 10 a.m. for you tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't know where to put it. That's the thing about ADHD. I don't even know where to fucking put this shit anymore.
Wait.
Like I would try calendars. I tried like different apps. I've tried writing things down. It don't work.
Hold on, friend. Hold on.
I was talking to my wife this morning. It's just, transparency, honesty. I'm going to write an article. Actually, I'll write a blog post about how good transparency is, how good authenticity is, not just for work and not just for information security, but for fucking life. I have lots of authentic conversations with my wife. And this morning, it dawned on me, like while I was in the shower, like I'm not remembering shit like I used to remember shit. Like,
that's okay. I just made an alarm. Okay, so I sent you the link in our Signal chat.
Yeah.
For tomorrow's event, and then I just made an alert for me to ping you again with the same link 15 minutes before we go live.
It's people like you that make people like me continue to live.
You know what it is? All it is that you want to go, right? You've expressed this, and you needed some help, Evan, and I'm so proud of you for asking for help.
God, you have no idea how much help I need, Rachel.
That's okay.
You have no idea how much help I get. That's it. That's like, a lot of people look at people.
You.
I know, but you only scratch the surface of all the help that I get every single day. Because I think, especially like today, man, I had this call with this dude, and I respect I don't respect people based on what you've fucking done in this industry. I don't respect you anymore because you've hacked some shit. Whatever. This guy's been in this industry for a long time, and he was so excited to talk to me, and he was like, "Wow," so like, "Wow, what? What the fuck are you talking about?" You don't realize how fucked up I really am. Nobody actually realizes how fucked up I really am, and how much I relied on the right circumstances, the right people, the right time to continue to propel my career forward. I am by far my own worst enemy. I am by far my own worst critic. Had I not had the people in my life that I've had in my life, I would have absolutely 100%, no doubt, destroyed myself. It's the path that I was on. That's how important it is to fuck the stigma, to be honest, to realize that I suck at a lot of shit. Don't put me on any fucking pedestal. Relate to me. Connect with me. Understand that I'm no better than you are. I've just been through things and I've done things. If you live in this industry long enough, you'll be through a lot of the same things. And people will also put you on this fucking pedestal. And if you abuse this fucking pedestal, and I happen to have a weapon in my hand, I'll use it. Because that's not the reason why you're on this fucking pedestal. The reason why you're on this fucking pedestal is to help other fucking people. So there's most days I wake up and I'm like, the fuck did I get here? Why me? I don't deserve, because people like going back to, bringing this full circle on that, you deserve this. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. If anybody deserves the shit that I live through and the benefits that I get living in paradise on this big fucking house with plenty of money and new fucking truck, if anybody deserves praise for that, it's everybody fucking else who helped me not destroy myself. The benefits, I feel like I'm almost fucking stealing from them some days. So anyway, preach too much, but yeah, go hack some shit, I guess, or something, or learn piano.
Don't, man.
All right.
You don't preach too much.
I dig you, Rachel.
Oh, well, thank you.
Keep doing the great work you're doing. Hopefully we're having an impact. The point of the podcast is, primarily selfish. It's mental health. I just need to get a lot of shit off my chest. But if anybody watches and anybody listens and they find benefit in any of this, then awesome. That serves, my ultimate mission.
I like it. Hey, you gotta, if you do have to go, you're going to like Sam. Sam is my guest tomorrow, and Sam worked for Walmart.
Yeah, tell our listeners what this is, what you're talking about, the coffee table thing.
The coffee table talks. So we're on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook because X wanted to start charging me because Elon is a jerk. So anyway, you can pick your poison that way. But tomorrow our guest is Sam, and Sam has worked for Walmart for 23 and a half years, something like that. I don't know.
Is it Sam Walton?
No. I think Sam Walton. I'm pretty sure Sam Walton has passed. But no, really? This is a different Sam. Sam Fox. You're going to like this guy.
I like that last name.
I
like that last name. We're already friends.
So Sam runs a free YouTube channel that is teaching the masses Python basics. One step at a time. And he's done this for like the last, I don't know.
I love it.
Since Jesus. It's amazing. And he just does it on his spare time.
Jesus. Come on. I mean, that's got to be figurative because that's like.
It is figurative.
2024.
It's 100% figurative. YouTube's only been around
I'm a security guy. I take things literally sometimes.
I'm neurospicy.
Okay,
I also take things literally a lot of times. So.
Fuck, we have to talk about that. I don't know what neurospicy is. All right, but anyway, fuck him. You got me all over the place, lady.
You're neurospicy.
Tell me about this. I'm what?
You are. You are also neurospicy. Is
that good?
Yeah. It means you got superpowers.
I do. Superpowers.
Yeah. It's
all right. So coffee table talks.
Yeah. What?
Where do people find this? Because I think I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And
4 years.
And I wish I should have, whatever, participated more often. Because I think it's great.
You were like my second or first guest ever. No, you were my second guest ever. You and a couple other faces. Do you remember that?
But I think it's just because you were desperate. You were just getting started.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't desperate.
No,
you and I.
Weren't desperate?
You don't remember when you and I first met? Do you not remember when you and I first met?
Let me think. I think the first time we met was through the shit show. Yeah.
Nope.
And then we had a Oh, okay. I'm already fucked it up. What is it?
What is? I want you to go back in your Wayback Machine in your brain.
To
RSA in San Francisco in 2020, in March of 2020. And you had a table at RSA with your book.
I did.
On security. And I had a slimy salesperson with me that I was trying to get away from.
Okay.
And he found me on your side of the vendor floor that you had your table set up. And I turned to be very interested in what you had so that he wouldn't notice me, because for some reason I thought being 6 foot tall was going to suddenly disappear and that I wouldn't be noticeable as a 6 foot tall person. And I started talking to you about your book. And this rude, slimy, salesy person interrupted you and I in the middle of our conversation. And you looked him dead square in the face and you said, "Does she know you?" And it was so great. And he went, "Oh my God, you're Chris Roberts."
Why, yes, I am.
And you went, and you said something like that. And then you said, "But no, really, I'm not. He's a good guy though. But no, I'm not." And that's, it's not a bad thing to be confused for Chris Roberts, but that's not who I am. And then I turned and I said, well, who are you, though? I know you're not Chris Roberts because I know Chris Roberts. And you said, my name's Evan, and this is my book. Would you like to take extra books? And I was like, sure. And you gave me like 3 books. You signed one. And then I went on my merry way. And then it came up later that you and I met, friends of friends kind of situation. And I was like, I was supposed to meet Evan this whole time. The whole time. The universe crossed our paths.
Wow.
I was like, there's something that's going to be a purpose here. And I don't know what it is, but I'm waiting to find out what it is.
I mean, this is part of the path. And the thing that I'm always attracted to, like always, I mean, and this is the thing about, like, you and I could talk for fucking ever. I mean, we're 2.5 hours into this. And
are we? Shit, my bad, friend.
I love it. I mean, that's the cool thing about when you have an authentic discussion with somebody that you respect, because authenticity, fuck the stigma. Not only does it help you in your career, help you in information security, helps you in life, it helps you in dating, it helps you in your marriage. I mean, holy fuck, it helps you in everywhere. Because this is the first I not know any of this. And it's like, it's cool because I make a lot of mistakes. And it's like, thank God it was like a good encounter, not one of those shit encounters. Because also at that same RSA conference is when Ryan introduced me to gummies. I'd never done gummies. Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't see this part. And he gave me, Ryan has experience with these things. I'd never done them. And so I was like, and it's legal, right? So everything's cool. We're all on the up and up. And so, he's like 5 milligrams, you've never done this before. I'm like, okay. So I took 5 milligrams and this is like the vendor day or the booth day, right? It's before they open the conference up to everybody else, right? So it's just whatever. And so I take one. Chemicals over the years, I've never been very patient. That's one of the reasons why, I'm a raging alcoholic, is because let's get it going. Let's get the party on. So that's also partially ADHD. So, I guess it takes a while for gummies to take effect. And I was like, I ain't feeling shit. So I took more. And I don't remember how much I took.
It was too much.
It was way too much.
Well, this would not be a story that we're telling.
No. So, it's the day before the actual conference, but there's lots of people there and they all want to talk to you and they want to get to know you and they want to know your book and all that shit. And it starts hitting me and it keeps hitting me.
Yeah.
And it keeps hitting me and I'm like, what the fuck? And none of my team knows this because I had a team there too. It was only Ryan who knew that this was going on. And it got so bad to where finally, I mean, a dude came up, tell me about your book. I want to know, but I'm like, hey, bro, I got to be straight with you. I'm high as fuck right now. I don't even know what you just asked me. I don't know how I'm going to respond. Just got to sit down. Wow. He's like, okay. And that's when my team realized, like, what the fuck's wrong with Evan? So they sat me in the back by myself and I'm just like sitting there. Yeah. That's the same fucking conference. So the same conference where we had this, I think a good experience the day before, 2 days before was the, my God, I don't do any of that shit anymore. I ain't no fucking way.
That's, I met you on a good day. You were just,
you did meet me on a good day.
You were even, you were with it. You didn't look, you looked like, I think I was at the end of one of the conference days. So it looked like maybe you'd been standing there for a lot of the day and was probably ready. But you were doing great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so going back to the stigma and the transparency thing, right? Who would think that the CEO, at that time of, a couple of successful companies representing a company there is high as a fucking kite.
Evan, can I tell you something? Wait, can I tell you something? I know a lot of things about a lot of people. Okay. And I keep a lot of those things to myself because those are not my stories to tell. But I'm going to vaguely let you know that you're not alone. There are lots of leaders in lots of places that imbibe one way or the other on lots of occasions, maybe not all of them appropriate. You're fine.
And that's one thing, but then it's another thing to create this environment of authenticity and it's okay to be you. How many of those CEOs and leaders share it publicly.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
And that's the thing. Like, we all fuck up. Dude, I have not met a single person ever anywhere. I don't give a fuck who the fuck they are. That's not fucked up. And I don't know a single person in our industry who has not broken more shit than they fixed.
No.
So get real. I appreciate you. It's been a long time. You and I could talk all fucking night, and I don't want to, I got to edit this so, people will listen to it and everything. But I dig you. Let's do this again. Let's continue the conversation. You're in the game for the right reasons, and I'm 100% behind you, girl.
Oh, well, thanks.
Know it. All right, I must stop it.
Okay.